the MGS3 script was leaked, Scott Dolph started going to fan sites and threatening to sue people who were spreading it
Oh,
around.
he went apeshit completely.
It's like,
Is
come
that
on,
right?
dude. They're your fans.
He's
You're
a-
threatening
It's their fault for using a casting agency that makes the scripts public.
Yeah.
Is that so? What happened? I never heard about that.
They used a casting agency to recruit voice actors for Metal Gear Solid 3,
Yeah.
and if all you had to do to look at all the scripts they had was
Yeah.
pay like $1. And one of the guys from an old forum.
It was all online?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all online. One guy who I can't remember if he was like an amateur voice actor or something, but he was a member of this old site I used to go to. Went and decided, hey, I'll just pay the few dollars to get all the scripts and read them out, and then he got them, and it was everything.
It was everything. They gave all the
It
scripts.
listed all the character bios about the boss,
Oh,
about
Oh my
uh,
god!
all
Oh
the
my-
Cobras, pretty
Oh my
much
God.
the entire game.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So-
Go ahead and tell your story about Scott Dolph. I wanna hear
Scott
it.
Dolph. So, all right. So I'll tell you a story about Scott Dolph. You know, you're not gonna get this shit from anywhere else, but you can believe me. It's the solid truth. You know,
Uh-huh.
it's the Metal Gear Solid truth, if you will. Recording sessions, Metal Gear Solid, L.A. Scott Dolph. It's got jet lag. You know, I mean, we're there for 2 weeks. Scott Dolph flew in on. I don't even remember if he was there from the beginning. He wasn't very involved in the project, and that's the truth. But he flew in as a representative of Kojima to see the recording sessions. It's my memory that he came in on, like, I don't know, the fourth day or third day or fourth day or fifth day, sometime in between, after we'd been going. And I just remember him crashed down on the couch a lot. He was like pretty much sleeping through all the sessions. Um, he didn't know the script, which was natural because he didn't translate it, and nobody went through it, like so quickly that they knew anything about it. Chris Zimmerman was the director, and I have to give her props. She was a great director. But I was really the assistant director. I mean, I spoke almost as much as her. What I didn't do was have a nice little organized, clear plastic binder with all these tags and stuff in it, and all these things. But what I did do very well was give voice direction. Since I wrote the script, I knew in my head, what I wanted every line to sound like. That's the way I write. I kind of have someone do the line in my head. So, to speak to the issue of why the voice acting probably sucks after Metal Gear Solid 1, and I haven't played the game, so I don't really, know that it does. I just kind of suspect it because the way voice acting sessions are is like this. Voice actors don't really, they want to get paid, but mostly they're worried about, getting the fuck out of there and getting to their next job. They don't
Yeah.
really, and they don't pre-read. Very few voice actors pre-read the script. They don't know what the fuck's going on. They get in there. They all think they sound so great, and they all think they, can do everything so perfectly. They can just do it cold, and it'll sound great. Don't worry about it. Especially in Hollywood, that's what they'll tell you. Don't worry about it. Sound great. We'll put it together. We'll do bing bang, bing bang. I got a great recorder. Greatest engineer you ever saw. This guy will make it all sound great. You'll love it.
Yeah.
And they don't fucking care. So if you want it to sound good, you have to really be on their ass. You have to say, "Hey man, you sound like you're talking to the fucking TV. You know, talk to me. You got
Yeah.
especially when you're recording voice actors out of sequence.
Mhm.
Many times. Snatcher, we did something weird. We recorded a lot of voice actors together. Three guys in the same scene.
Yeah.
Which is unusual these days. Now, a lot of things, especially anime and stuff like that, are just done piecemeal. You'll take one guy, he's in the booth for 4 hours. He gets paid his union fee for 4 hours, and he does his part against nobody. So he's got these lines floating around in the air, not playing up against anybody.
Yeah.
So a real good way to improve the acting is to have actors having fun with each other. They get to know each other. They develop some rapport. But
Yeah.
it's not very economically efficient.
I see what you're saying. Like, isn't that what they did in Japan too? They had all the actors in the same studio recording together.
Well, Japan, one misconception that I think I see that should be cleared up is that um, to do a job in Japan, an English language version of a game in Japan. Think about this for a minute. Do you know who is available in Japan to do these games?
Uh, okay, well, you worked on Silent Hill 2, right?
Yeah, I worked on
Okay, I
two,
see what you're saying though.
three and four.
Yeah, and like, just I totally agree with you. In Japan, getting English voice actors is hard as hell. And Silent
Yeah,
Hill 2 and 3, and all that, and Silent Hill 2 specifically, you guys got actors in Japan, correct? Like some of them were. I
yeah.
remember,
That,
yeah,
that's.
James Sunderland. He was
I
like,
think I think on two they were all in Japan, if I remember correctly.
yeah,
So,
the actor for
yeah,
Eddie's actually some sort of radio DJ or something like that.
yeah, yeah. That
So you
sounds
just
right.
kind of sort of find who you can.
You just find who you can, and that's it.
Yeah,
Like the guy who played and there was a lot of hit and misses, but uh, these jobs are all done on a limited budget, and people have limited time, and some all these different limiting factors come up. But especially like Silent Hill 2. I mean, we hired total amateurs. The guy who played the lead, it was such a funny story about that.
yeah, I heard he
Well,
wasn't even there to audition. The
yeah,
Japanese guy saw him. He's
you
like,
heard,
okay, get in
yeah.
here.
You're, it wasn't even like that. No, the
What?
guy, no, the guy was there. He brought his daughter.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
I
it.
need, I needed a little girl, you know, to
Hmm.
do this
Laura.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laura, and he brought his daughter, and she really, I don't want to say anything bad about his daughter, okay, but she wasn't material for the part. Okay, so this guy comes up to me and he says, um, can you let me audition for like the main part? I don't, I can't remember if he said it in Japanese or English for some reason, but he said,
Yeah.
I don't have a job.
Huh?
You know,
Is
he
that
said
what
I
he
don't have a
told you?
job. Yeah, I'm out of work. He said, right?
Ugh.
Okay, so I auditioned him, and everybody up to that point had really sucked, and he just sucked.
Yeah.
So he kind of got the job. He kind of had this gloomy looking face, and this gloomy manner. And when he said he was out of work, and so he kind of fit the character, you know.
Yeah.
And we had to think about motion capture for that game too.
Yeah, and you
And
guys could just
he physically kind of looked the part and stuff. So
yeah.
anyway, it turns out this guy was like a millionaire many,
Yeah.
many, many times over.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I would
Yeah,
say.
he was a fucking millionaire. He drove this like probably $150,000 car to work. I remember this
Yeah.
big fucking like weird like GM Hummer looking fucking thing.
Yeah, he's some sort of head of a stockbroker company or some sort of
Yeah,
insurance, something like that. He's
you're
an
very
that's
you're very
he told you that he didn't have a job. I was like, that guy is full of shit. I saw his website and he said
Aaron.
there's
How do you
speaking
know all
engine.
this shit, man? What is your deal, man? How do you know all this shit?
Just like
It's
reading
crazy.
around, like I do some freelance writing here and there. I just run into the shit out of nowhere. I mean, I played Silent Hill 2. I like the acting in it. It's
I
not,
found your ass sitting in a game store in Newark.
Let me tell
yeah,
you, man. Two was a tight plot. I got to give um, a big hand to Owaku, the guy who wrote that script. He's a freak. He's a creepy freak. He
uh,
really is.
this is
He's a
such a great interview, dude. I swear.
he's the creepiest. He's the creepiest, freakiest, darkest guy. This guy, but he was a programmer on Silent Hill 1. And he came out of nowhere and wrote the script for 2, which I think is a brilliant script. But 2 was a great job for me because I actually went to Japan to talk about Silent Hill 2 with the team before there was even a story. You know,
Hmm.
they invited me to come to Japan to say like what kinds of things can we do that are scary to Americans versus Japanese. How about incest? And I'd be like, no, no incest. Well, I mean, I guess in Japan, incest is like okay to talk about, more so than here. But I
Oh,
said, no, not incest. Uh-uh.